Yo, 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 Big Kish back up in here. I seen this a couple days ago, but I ain't paying no attention. I'm sure y'all seen the thumbnail and y'all read the title. But Game about to lose his house and some more stuff. I don't know what's going on. Champagne Pissy ain't there to help you out? Huh? Yeah, I don't know. But we about to get into the details and the creases and the crannies and the crevices of the situation. You know what I mean? But I pray the brother get his life right. You know what I mean? Pray the brother Game. Hopefully he could bounce back, you know, because he has children. That's the only people I feel for is the children. You know, I know he take care of his children. You know what I mean? The Game is about to be homeless. But the last article I seen, it was that he lost or about to lose his mansion or his house, whatever. You know what I mean? Before we get to that, y'all please go support Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset. My new book, written by Big Kish, y'all. The link to the book will be in the description. Y'all please go support, and I really appreciate it. Shout out to Jarrell. Shout out to Jarrell. Thank you so much for your donation. I want to do the audio for your book. you almost. That's in the works too. It's in the works too. But yeah, I appreciate your services. Thank you for the donation. Y'all know I'm like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
It looks like the Game might be cooked and he might be losing his home.
Jarrell, I want to see what your voice like. Send me an audio joint on Instagram. The Instagram right here down. Send me your audio with your voice like, and maybe I'll think about it.
So I'll give you guys the most recent update, and then I'll walk you through how the Game ended up in this situation. No Jumper had posted this, and Adam22 had also talked about it on, I think it was their podcast. But this was put out by All Hip Hop, and it was exclusive. Game loses house. Judge orders sale to pay off $7 million debt to Priscilla Rainey. And there was this lawsuit that happened years ago. This started maybe 2014 or so. But the important part is he's owed this money for a very long time. And Cash Jones, who's WAC 100, who is the Game's manager, talks about how the Game doesn't own a lot of his assets and they're in WAC's name. So in case things like this happen, he doesn't have to pay out. Although I just think Game should have ran through this case. But it says,
Or WAC shouldn't be running his mouth, letting everybody know that he owned Game stuff.
The Los Angeles County Superior Court granted Rainey, who is the lady that won the lawsuit, request to sell the property on May 2nd, 2025 after years of legal wrangling and failed attempts by Game to avoid payment. The rapper argued that the house was protected under California's homestead exemption, ruling that the property is legally owned by JTT Holdings LLC, not by Game himself. According to the ruling, Game may have an equity interest in JTT Holdings, but that doesn't confer upon him an interest in the property. She also successfully argued that JTT Holdings was just a shell company created by Game and his manager, WAC 100, to keep the residents out of his name and out of her reach. She has aggressively pursued collection efforts of her $7 million judgment.
Y'all know who JT is, right? Y'all go look up the old Game show when the JT was up there, a.k.a. the Game.
Has seized his music royalties and targeted other assets tied to Game's businesses and intellectual property. And it says the property is currently valued at approximately $4 million, and he would still owe Rainey $3 million even if this sold. And the Game, he replies to this, of course, and he says cap with a K, K-A-P with many, many P's after it. And this is the problem. We're really not going to get too many answers until this thing progresses. Adam22, he runs a podcast with Game's manager, and Game's manager is not going to say, oh, we're going to lose this house, of course. He's incentivized to say that, oh, yeah, everything's fine. She's just trying to do this and that and just try to get money out of him. But this all started in the TV show, the Game's VH1 reality dating show called She's Got Game. And she was on the show. The alleged incident happened in May of 2015. And then she claimed that the Game essayed her during what she believed was an after-hours date for the show. and then that he was intoxicated and forcefully reached inside her dress to touch her. It's kind of like that. It seems like what was alleged that was being done to her was a similar situation where we saw, I think it was India Love in the game in that park. Granted, India Love situation was consensual. And then in August of 2015, so just 2 months later, and some people, or 3 months later, some people will say, oh, why didn't she go to the police, criminal charges, all of that. Listen, I'm not here to defend her. I'm just here to lay out the timeline of how we got here and how ridiculous and stupid it is, and Game has nobody to blame but himself. So in August, she filed a $10 million lawsuit against him in federal court, alleging battery and seeking damages. And then the Game just didn't appear for court for the trial in 2016. So they issued a default judgment of $7 million. And then he denied the allegations and mocked the legal proceedings on social media. Like, let me send you guys a post. Like, for some people that may feel like, okay, there's a situation. For instance, some people are really sympathetic to Tory Lanez, right? And that is a different situation because, you know, there's a shooting, there's violence, all of that, and Tory Lanez is in jail. But the situation here is completely different. You've got a post by the Game, and it's unreal, man. He said the following, and I'm going to read. I don't know if this post is still up, but I have the quote of exact.
A lot of these rappers need to stay off Twitter and all of that, because some of these guys, they be trying to let off all their emotions instead of just talking to somebody, and they wind up either telling on themselves or telling on themselves. One of the two.
Exactly what he said in his caption. And he said, let's get one thing very clear. And this is after the default judgment happened. That thirsty Gatorade mascot of a transvestite will never see $10 million or anything close to a penny of my money. People think because they read a headline in bold print, it's true. She won a judgment of $10 million, and that means a judge, because I'm overseas, has given this chicken a chance to maybe be able to afford a lifetime supply of lace front hair glue if my lawyers don't respond to this suit by the 26th of this month, which they will do tomorrow a.m. Soon as I'm home, me and my lawyers will eat this case like a box of Minion Twinkies on sale at Walmart. They did not eat the case. Clearly, it's still going on. And he was trying to get the judgment reversed or something like that. I'm no legal expert, but this was after the default judgment was already granted. So he knew everything that was going on. Nothing happened behind his back. He didn't want to show up to court. And then he's using the excuse of, oh, I was overseas. No, he was overseas for a couple of shows, but he just didn't cooperate with the court. And years later, this is maybe 7 years ago that he made this post. Clearly, they didn't spank that. VH1 has a separate suit filed against them by this Thoughtbot that they will also win because, number one, this Biat is a liar. Yeah, VH1's going to win the suit because they actually showed up. She has a history of theft, fraud, prostitution, arrests, and a lot of other tranny-panty activity in her past.
Oh, she got a history of doing fraud. I don't know what's going on. Hey, look, I'm telling you, most things, a lot of stuff that be going on now, Dot be saying it in his raps. He said it. It's best to be a one woman right now. Tricky right now. What'd he say? You better off having one woman tricky right now. It's tricky. It's tricky. I'm telling you. A lot of people being tricked up out of their bag, boy.
That makes his false claim irrelevant. Do not be fooled by these accusations or the dollar amount in the headlines, because I put that on my favorite auntie's poodle. This broad ain't getting anything. Every girl on the show will tell you I never touched this chick or ever desired to be with her. She got kicked off the show. He goes on saying, like, see you in court, Mr. Mustache, just a lot of insults. We're not going to go through this entire post. Well, this is ironic because what would happen is by 2020, in 2019, the Game tried to appeal the judgment, like he was saying in that post, and the appeals court upheld the original decision. So he still owed her the $7 million. And then this is where the Game started playing the game of, okay, well, it looks like I got to get rid of all my assets right now or not own anything. And this is a similar situation to what Future had done, and that's why one of his baby mamas is getting like $2,000 or $3,000 a month in child support because Future doesn't own anything. And his income is very, very low. It's just his businesses that maybe he's a co-owner in that make a lot of revenue, and they pay those businesses whenever he's contracted to do a show or things like that. So in 2020, to enforce the judgment, a judge granted the girl control over the Game's record label, LA Prolific, and the royalties from his album Born to Rap. So any future payments that came from that label or from that album, Born to Rap, is all going to this chick. And I don't know if is Game going to call that cap, like he's calling it cap of his house having to be sold. And you can check Born to Rap. It's an album that's out there. It dropped in 2019. It's got Ed Sheeran on there. It's got Miguel on there.
I don't think she going to get that much money off that album. Who? Okay, I think whoever wanted that Born to Rap album got it. I think whoever wanted that album got it already. I don't think she about to be getting nothing from that. Like, yo, just give it up. Go get you a job. You know what I'm saying?
This girl owns that album. Unless someone's here to say otherwise, then. Or she owns the share that the Game owns. I don't know, because this was put through Entertainment One, so I don't know if what the distribution setup looks like.
And then how big the Game share of the album is. Because you got the producers, you got everybody else that got to get their cut. How big is his share of the album?
It's like, yeah, just know if you're listening to this album, you're supporting money being put in this chick's pocket. And perhaps that's why Game hasn't really released music since. Because if he owns a part of the music, then she's just going to get a share of it. Anyway, in 2020 to 2023, this chick continued to try to collect judgments. So she hired PIs, saying that the Game was using shell companies and transferring assets to different places to avoid payment.
Listen, sis, go get you a husband, man. Go settle down, man. For real. Now, if this happened, for real, you know, do your thing. But if it didn't, and you one of them fraud people, look, go settle down, go get you a husband, go get taken care of. You're not a bad looking chick. I hope you're not out here doing no fraud. But if this stuff really happened, then by all means, go do what you got to do. You know what I mean? But it says you got a history of fraud. So,
and that she only received $500,000 of the $7 million owed, which just goes to show you she got $500,000, and she's like, nah, I'm gonna need the rest of that 6.5. And then, in the past year and a half, she's been trying to seize his Calabasas home, and that it was subject to the judgment, and that's where we got the most recent news. And the reason why the Game lost this is because he didn't show up in court for the trial. So they just gave a default judgment. It's the most ridiculous thing ever, and it's completely his fault. I can't even say it's a sad situation. It's just hubris. Because when this was going on, 2016, 17, 18, that's when the Game was really, really popping his stuff. I'm going to give you guys another situation that happened from a report. On November 14, 2016, Game called the court to inform them he would not be able to make the trial. The same day, jury selection started in the trial against Rainey. So he's aware of the trial going on for this civil case, and he's like, yeah, I'm not going to be able to show up. The rapper explained he had to undergo 2 emergency root canals and even presented a note from a dental clinic to the judge. The judge called to verify the procedure, and the endodontist confirmed the rapper underwent surgery. However, images from Game's Snapchat torpedoed his medical excuse. After a judge got a hold of some pictures Game posted just hours.
I told y'all, stay off the internet. Stay off of this online, bro. These rappers be so braggadocious. Hey, look what I'm doing today, y'all. I'm supposed to be over there. Don't be telling my judge. Don't tell my PO. Yeah, I'm supposed to be doing this. Stay offline, bro. That's that vainglorious spirit come back to bite you in the butt. Wanting to be seen. You want to be seen so bad. Look what I got. Look what I'm doing. Look at me. Look at me. Vainglorious. Stop worshiping yourself, man.
Hours after he received his root canals, the photos depicted Taylor smoking something in a dark room under pink neon lights at 2:44 a.m. on Monday, November 14th.
Dang.
According to Judge Sykes, it remained unclear whether Jayceon Taylor is the Game. Dental issue was a previously known condition of a sudden onset emergency, a material fact in evaluating whether this was a good faith excuse for skipping trial or just a ruse. The judge said the images appeared as if Game was outright partying in the middle of the night just a few hours after he placed a call to an emergency dental hotline and a few hours before he was due in court in Chicago. And then the judge said Taylor's actions were indicative of somebody who had no intention of appearing at trial. I think this is also a situation where the judge was like, yo, F this guy. He's playing games. He's not showing up to trial, which is already enough for him to get a default judgment. But I think they just felt, everyone in the whole courtroom felt disrespected. So they're upholding everything that happened. And they're like, oh, now after the default judgment happens, you're trying to come back and get this appealed? Nah, that ain't happening.
Right.
And now he's stuck in this situation, which no matter what Game says or anybody around Game says.
See, he still got to uphold this, I'm a gangster, I'm a rapper persona. Ain't nobody about to do nothing. I got the best lawyers. I got this, I got that. But it's showing like, yo, nobody's above the program, man. Once them judges make their decision like, oh, you think you above the program, they'll get you. They gonna get you. They'll get you, I'm telling you. And ultimately, it's up to the judge. So I don't care what lawyer you hire or whatever. Ultimately, it's up to the judge. It's the judge's decision. I'm going to leave a link in the description. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Please go support the book written by Big Kish, me. Street Dad, Geek Dad, Avoiding the Manufactured Mindset, man. I'm waiting on my orders. I will be coming to a state near you to post up and sell the book. You know what I'm saying? Don't be hesitant to come out and show your boy some love. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, y'all let me know what y'all think, man. Big Kish signing out. I'm going, y'all.